And that's the short, hairy guy thing. I don't know. Short, hairy, greasy guy. I don't know what it is, man. We just have to live with it.
You think it's the extra hair on us that makes us sweat?
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't realize how it works until, like, during one of those phases when I was CrossFitting hard. I'm like, I'll shave my whole body kind of thing, And then you become into, like, when you shave your chest and all that and get the thing to scrape your back and all that shit. When you finally get that all done and you're completely, like, hairless, I'm instantly conscious of, like, clothing, but not just the clothing, the air between the clothing and your body.
Yes.
And I never realized that, and actually jokes with me about this. She's like, yeah, it's just like animals. It keeps the air, like ducks and how they stay warm and shit. A big part of that is the air that sits between your hair and your body gets warmed very quickly to your body temperature. And so you actually have like this micro atmosphere around you're walking around with under that hair. And you become instantly aware of it.
I'm buying it.
It's totally true. So like the chest hair and all that, I'm always like several degrees cooler. We joke that's my superpower. Mr. Slightly above average normal body temperature man. Like it's not the greatest power, but it's pretty.
I like to think it's because I have high testosterone. That's what I tell myself. I've no data, no empirical data.
Yeah, absolutely. And large penises, of course. That's obviously what's driving all of this. If we're gonna go there. Good Jeremy, to see you. How are you, sir? I love that. I love seeing the old guys standing around a bunch of people out in their uniforms, like out in the desert, kind of yucking it up. Those I was there photos. Those give me a smile. Those will be right now. Those will be the shave the back. Yeah, listen, the backs. I tell you, anybody who's played around with that knows how quickly knows what the phrase chemical burns means. So be careful, kids. Be careful.
You know what's so funny is when we used to travel, when we worked at CrossFit, and I would travel a lot. Once a year, I would nair my chest and my back, and I would always do it at a hotel bathroom. Wow. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, chemical burns, but one time I left it too long. You put it on, then you get in front of the computer, and you're like, "Oh fuck, am I?"
Yeah, all of a sudden you're sizzling. Yeah. And now you can't take your shirt off at all for the next 3 days while you get all this splotchiness from where you left that shit on too long or missed the spot. Yeah, it's great. I used to do the same thing. It was once or twice a year.
And you'd be paranoid that you're going to put it in your hair.
Yeah. Well, which maybe that's what happened back there. Now I got like the cul-de-sac growing back there. You got to see about that.
Hey, how about the Rob Reiner thing? I was trying to.
I just heard about this morning. Holy shit! I mean, what do you say about that, right? Like, I don't like him. And so what can you say that doesn't make you an asshole, when the guy just.
Right.
I mean, so like.
So are they saying he was murdered? It says investigated for homicide. Does that mean?
Yeah, well, he was killed.
Well, when I think of a husband and wife dying together, I always think of it as like the carbon monoxide poisoning or something like that. You know what I mean? In their house or something. Like, didn't some guy just die like out in the desert? Someone famous like Clint Eastwood or who died out
Gene
there?
Hackman. I was just about to bring up Gene Hackman. And the other thing was his wife was dead.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, and evidently then they started doing the investigating, and I actually love celebrity gossip. She's always like, there's no good celebrity gossip, and then she was saying this the other day, and then here it is, right? Well, when Gene Hackman died, she was totally into that for a while, and I started having some fun with that. I love Gene Hackman, former Marine, by the way.
Yeah, cool actor.
He got kicked out of the Marine Corps for I don't want to spread fake news, but I'm pretty certain that he got a general under honorable conditions. He was I think after the Korean War he was in, if I'm not mistaken, and he got punted for bad checks.
Oh, wow.
But he got a general under honorable. But I've been involved in some cases like that where guys get relatively minor misconduct, get themselves into some financial trouble, and they wind up with GUHCs, general under honorable. So, yeah, I think Gene Hackman got a general under honorable.
It says here, Gene Hackman wasn't exactly kicked out, but was honorably discharged as a disabled veteran in 1951 after a serious motorcycle accident that left him with broken bones.
Yeah, better double check that.
and a few bad checks.
Yeah, but like I said, they'll when you get yourself into some trouble, he got into some little scrapes, but you can see why. I mean, he's obviously like he's got that wicked, or he had that wicked sort of streak of I'm going to do what I want. But so when they were looking at when he died, it turned out that they can date when you died and all that. And then it was like his wife was dead for like a week.
Yeah, that was weird, right?
And I had this image of like, can you imagine? Because he was evidently like, Alzheimer's and all that in the end. And so I was like, can you imagine how terribly, I don't know. I don't know a better word than pathetic, but like she dies. And I'm like, watch, he's probably like, he's half out of his mind. And they found like pills sprinkled on the floor. And I was like, can you imagine? That's probably him opening the pill bottle and trying to feed her like she's fish. You know what I mean? She's he's like, come on, why come get up?
Yeah.
She's like, and he's walking around with a stinking body for like a week, like, oh man,
yelling at her to make him food. He's just fucking cussing her out.
Get up. Trying to shove pills in her mouth, like, oh God. Yeah, there aren't a ton of good ways to go. When you come right down to it, like a lot of life is gone. Oh, his son. Oh, you're talking about Rob Reiner. Yeah, the Rob Reiner, that's what I heard was that it looks like it was the son. And wasn't he
already? They're already saying, I mean, dude,
yes,
he died last night at 7 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, look, if mom and dad are stabbed and cut up or however they were killed, and I understand they were, and I mean, the list of suspects, narrows itself very quickly. It's like,
shit. People Magazine's already got the fucking headline. Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, were killed by their son. Exclusive sources.
Did you see that him and his son were in a movie together and then did an interview with him? And basically the dude was just so uncomfortable. He was like, yeah, it was really difficult. And, working with my dad, it's really hard. And you're just like,
Jesus. I mean, listen, again, like, okay, you asked me to come on here, ask about Rob Reiner. Now it's time to piss on the dead, I guess. Hey, he gave us he was an uber liberal. You know what I mean? He was a huge
crazy
twat. And so, you know what I mean? Like an ideologue in every way. Like what, somebody on Twitter, I wonder how long, like start the countdown till how long somebody's like, geez, I guess you wish you'd left the country now. I mean,
left his son behind.
Yeah. Right. Like, yeah, I guess probably going to Canada might've been the safer play.
Oh, the son was crazy too, huh? He's a drug addict.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
He just looks unstable in every interview I've seen of him.
He's got Maglione vibes.
Yeah. Jesus. So I mean, it's a tragedy. Rob Reiner was even when he was young, when he was meathead on All in the Family, was probably the pinnacle of his career. But he did a lot of like great stuff you'd go look at and be like, oh, I like that. He was,
he's been around forever.
And of course, people forget now, we think of Rob Reiner because he was so successful on his own, but his dad, Carl Reiner.
Right. And Dick Van Dyke, right? Or something like that?
Yeah, maybe. That might be right. But yeah, I think you might be right that it's Dick Van Dyke.
Van Dyke.
Yep. You're absolutely right. So, I mean, they had a, distinguished family legacy in showbiz, and then the son murders mom and dad I guess that's probably about how it ends in showbiz, no?
What does he have any other kids?
Fiery ball of death.
Does he have other kids, Caleb?
Let me look. I think he was the only one.
Oh, there's already an article. Who will inherit Rob Reiner's $200 million fortune?
Oh, Jake Reiner. I guess he's got another kid.
Man.
Oh no, he's got a few others.
I was going to say, I thought he had
four of them.
All from that same lady?
No, he's had 2 wives.
Yeah, he was married. Was he with Stanley Struthers?
He was a big LGBTQ advocate, which just right away makes me think that's the ultimate of virtue signaling. When anyone who thinks it's okay to lump the trannies and the queers and the bisexuals with the lesbians and gays, they got to get the L's out of there. The L's need to make a run. Just the L's. just run from the.
But it's funny. Like, I don't know, man.
The G's, the B's, and the T's, and the Q's, and the pluses are all perverts. I don't mean that in a bad way. They just are. The L's just like pussy.
Not in the bad way.
Yeah, not in but they're not perverts. The L's aren't perverts. Lesbians aren't perverts. I don't think of them as perverts. By perverts, I mean people who are over-sexualized. They're like preoccupied with sex. I think the G's, the B's, the T's, and the Q's, and the pluses are they're preoccupied with sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with that as a general observation.
Yeah, as a sweeping generalization.
Yeah, yeah. Even I remember there was a kid in band when I was young, and he was gay, and he used to joke about it. He played trombone, and he was older than me, black kid, and I was friends with his younger brother, and we all played in the band together in the All City Band, and he would always make jokes about that. I always wondered if it wasn't in some way. I kind of was a little jealous because it seemed to make him bully proof. Like no one would beat his ass because he was so overtly gay, and the rest of us were just getting ass kickings left, right, and sideways, like going over like the all black school where the All City Band met. And he was like impervious to it because he was so flamboyantly gay, and he had this girlfriend who was a flute player. Like they hung out, they were pals, like gal pals. Yeah. And I was kind of jealous that I was like, how come somebody's beating Kenny's ass? And it was just because he was so obviously gay, there was nothing to be gained from.
You know what? No one picked on the flamboyantly gay guy in my high school either. Like, I mean, very flamboyant, paint his nails, just everyone. I mean, he was cool. Everyone just knew him. He was just cool.
Yeah,
but if you were an effeminate, if you were caught in the middle somewhere, you're getting your ass beat.
You were getting zero. It was like Mr. Miyagi was right. You know what I mean? Must be either if one side road, other side road, in middle gets squashed like grape. You know what I mean? Like you had to either be on this side. It's like choosing prison gangs, basically.
You either got all the bitches or you were gay.
Right. I was envious a little bit because it seemed to be a shield against a lot of beatings that I had to take, and I thought being trumpet was way less gayer than being a fucking trombone player. But
do you still play the trumpet at all, Dale?
No, but I have one.
You do.
Yeah, you do. Of course I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
I would never put my family through that again. But yes, I played trumpet. I was a very, very serious trumpet player. I wanted to be a musician before any of the rest of it happened. And I just wasn't quite good enough. Just like with athletics. There was a kid in high school band my senior year who played French horn. And he was a fantastic horn player. And he could play several instruments, a lot of brass instruments. And he went on to the Hart School of Music. And I think that's in Connecticut, I forget. But he got a scholarship, went to the Hart School. And we played together in different things like brass ensemble and shit. It's like anything else, like sports, like, instant or jujitsu. It doesn't take you very long to figure out like who's better than who. You know what I mean? There's a natural sporting mechanism, and you grab a guy's gi and you're like, uh-oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck. Same thing with running. You know what I mean? Every kid in third grade knows who the fastest kid in the class is. Just ask them.
Right.
They've all ran, and that kid blows everybody's doors off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so kids have that all figured out quickly. And like, I knew, you meet someone who's just that much better than you, and you're like, ah, shit.
That was the kid that always got, no matter what the sport is in PE, he always got picked first.
Yeah.
Soccer, flag, football, whatever. That kid gets picked.
Yeah,
and that team's winning. He's so much better. He's not a little better.
And that's why you never let the girls be captains, because they'll just pick their friends and not.
Do you remember the names of? Do you remember the name of the kid who was the best kid? Like in elementary school or junior high? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What was his name?
John Crowley. He's my best friend.
Oh yeah, our guy. We had Andy Hampf, little blonde, completely blonde, blue-eyed kid. And
Ours
eventually,
was Brandon Siggers.
Just better than everyone.
Yep.
Yeah. If this kid was on, I remember the PE teacher would put him and one other guy against the whole class. And we
Holy shit!
The rest of you suck so badly. We're just gonna put everyone on these two kids. My buddy John, he was like in sixth grade. He was already like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah.
And he had three older sisters, Patty, Kathy, and Susan. I hope to God, John, and neither Patty, Kathy, or Susan hears this, but the Crowley sisters were smoking hot. They were the hottest chicks within a 20-mile radius of Olneyville Square. And John's sister Susan is older. She was a couple years older. Was a smoke show. And John was like 5'9", and he was Johnny Handsome. He was the best looking kid, the most popular kid. He's a lefty, and he had a cannon for an arm, but he was just as likely to throw it over the backstop as he was to throw it to the catcher. and then he was great because he would just laugh about it. The coach would lose his fucking mind. Like John would throw it right over the backstop. And then he would go, he'd put a glove over his head and he'd start laughing. And like, what could you do? You know what I mean? The coach would be like, pulling his what little hair he had left out. And John would just giggle. Like, and then he would laugh about it afterwards. He'd come to the bench. I didn't play on the same team. I played another team. I'd be watching his game, hanging out because he was my bud. And he would run over and he would see me and be like, did you see that shit? I threw it over the backstop. And you could see all the guys on his team like,
hey, this guy that I went to school with too, all the girls liked him too, best looking. And you know what's crazy? He didn't even seem to care. He didn't even seem to notice.
Yeah. He knew, John knew. That was his ultimate insult to our friends when we would be yelling at each other. He'd be like, Fitzy, but I'm better looking than you. I'd be like, fuck you, John. You know, we had a great crew of knuckleheads. Just a great crew. But yeah, Johnny has Sevy died.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah. Rob Reiner's kid got to him.
Yeah, I guess so. Jeez, he must have had his internet go out or something.
That's a bad sign. Mine's just a shitty one. All right. Well, so anyway.
When you, man, I don't even. God damn it. Oh, jeez. Have you been following the CrossFit sale at all?
So I keep hearing it.
Anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's hard because I haven't talked to Greg in a little while, and I always.
Oh, really?
We've been playing phone tag. I talked to him. I was in the airport coming out of DC. Had a good conversation with him, and then we've been talking again. I was supposed to be out. I meant to ask Sevy that. Are you back in? Ever seen Santa Cruz? Because I thought he was out. I thought he was in Scottsdale. He
was for a little bit, and then he just came back. He just went back home, but he was hanging out with Greg.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a guy that came around and was like making the rounds with all these people and just started to kind of be interested. It was like going to the Mayhem, talking to those guys.
Well, that's what I heard. Somebody had gone and talked to Rich, and Rich had said he'd talk to people. And, you know, there's always this sort of, somebody's sniffing around going to buy CrossFit. But I mean.
Right. It almost seems like they're just going around trying to meet famous people. You know what I mean? Like they just like being a part of that crew, and it doesn't really.
The other problem too is this. Just imagine, step back, like from what you know about CrossFit and being part of the community, and try and think of it this way. If you were a guy with a bunch of money, let's say $200 million, whatever it would take to buy CrossFit, and you got to have more than that, obviously, to be able to drop that on it. But if you were looking to buy it, and you knew Greg was out there doing his own thing, like, would you ever? Oh, you made it. We thought Rob Reiner's
gone forever.
My internet went down.
Yeah, that's what we figured.
Classic.
You got to pay your bills, to get Haley on that. So we were just talking about CrossFit's ownership, and I was suggesting this, Sev, in doing all this analysis on somebody buying CrossFit and all that. If you were a guy, if you were somebody on the outside, you had $200-300 million and whatever you're going to take a run at CrossFit. Think about this. Would you buy it knowing that Greg was out there and not part of the deal? Would you ever?
No.
Right? Wouldn't you be insane to like? I would. Would you throw down $150 million, let's say, to try and buy CrossFit while Greg's out there and clearly not, not digging you or whatever? Like, I would never risk that kind of money on CrossFit. Seems to me we didn't listen enough, and we kind of poo-pooed it. But I'll never forget all those people we talked to in venture capital, during the whole Anthos thing. And one of the things they all said to us, every lender we talked to, a possible lender, every person we did due diligence with, everybody who looked at CrossFit closely was like, it's not the same company without him. We know that, right? I mean, I can't tell you how many people pulled me aside, guys, and I'm like, hey, and they wanted all kinds of community provisions and shit like that.
Dale, how's my signal? Am I coming in okay?
Yeah,
okay. So it's funny. This happens every time it jostles this up in my head. But everyone who does CrossFit does not need to know this. Really, not too many people need to know this. But the leader of CrossFit has to know two things. Greg, CrossFit owns the mantle for GPP. And they have to walk with that swagger that there is no other program that's better for general physical preparedness. We own that mantle. And while you and I were there, Greg also started to insert it to take the mantle from the CDC, Center for Disease Control, as the greatest basically curation and aggregation of longevity in life. Like, hey, if you want to be healthy, if you want answers to health, the number one place to come is CrossFit. And so when I hear people say stuff like we're going to bring doctors in or put doctors on our board, it's you're vacating that mantle in a way Greg never would. CrossFit was to educate doctors. It was to show them that they were off the path. It would be like bringing in another fitness guy to be like, hey, can you teach us what the SEALs do? Because then we'll be fitter.
The P90X guy to help us better.
And if the person at the top doesn't actually like embody that the way Greg does, like everyone doesn't need to know that, but that's where all our swagger comes from. Where if you want to live the longest and you want to be the fastest and strongest, you gotta and we haven't had anyone like that since Greg left in charge. Rosa didn't know that. He wanted to bring in the doctors like to help us. It's pretty wild.
Which brings back to, is anybody, it makes me wonder, is anybody really, it seems now it's like a seasonal thing, like every year we hear the rumblings that somebody's going to buy CrossFit. And every year nothing comes out of it. Like, it's almost like the Lucy with the football, somebody's going to buy CrossFit, and like, I wonder if the CrossFit community now ought to, maybe I'm spilling a little tea and suggesting that it's no one with that kind of money is going to buy CrossFit in light of it's the essential necessity of Greg to the equation. Hey, and with him just out there doing his own thing, and you know what I mean, in the meta space of that, which was really, CrossFit really is a specific application of something that Greg was saying from the beginning. I mean, anybody who's read the early stuff and really taken it on and deeply groks it knows that what he's doing now is the natural next step in light of selling CrossFit. But CrossFit's a specific application of all the same principles that
when you say what he's doing now, he seems to have partitioned Netflix and broken science. When I talk to him, it sounds like it sounds like, even when I talk to him now, it sounds like if someone gave him CrossFit back, he would just give it to the affiliates. And I honestly don't think that's the solution. Like, no,
I don't either. He said, I mean, it's I understand completely as his friend, and I'm not his lawyer anymore and all that, but, and I'm, to be honest with you, for my own selfish personal reasons, I'm glad he's not running CrossFit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big burden. It is no small thing to do it, and I mean, you were as close as anybody. So for me, it's great. He doesn't have that. We don't have that. I don't have the pressure of being its lawyer. You know what I mean? A lot of that is like, it's just easier for us now. But I think my favorite line of his about this in a conversation with me and him, he said something like, man, like, I've said all I want to say on the subject of squatting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In some ways, I understand. Like, I wrote a book about my experience, with the anthrax vaccine, and like, when people want to talk about it, at some level, I'm like, just gonna write. I've got to say what I already spent 300 fucking words, in 2 years of my life writing, like, and living. You're like, man, do I really want to talk about it again? Like, what else you want me to say? Read the book.
Right. Hey, would you think this is a fair characterization that it went from building the kingdom, which he really enjoyed, to then more and more as time went on, it became about defending the kingdom until it was almost like, until it crossed that demarcation line. I'm just making these numbers, but at some point it crossed over the 50% line and it became 51% defending the kingdom. And that will take a toll on anyone as opposed to growing the kingdom.
Yeah, but I don't, Greg's personality is, man, he doesn't play defense,
Right.
The best defense is a good offense,
Right.
Sad me suing the shit out of everybody. But I think it was harder this. I don't think most people realize that when a company gets to a certain size, and Greg kept it private, obviously in private ownership, but if you think about what we've just been through and where we are as a society and a culture, and like how, kind of hyper feminized it is. And a lot of people, I don't know if we talked about that piece on the hyper feminization and all this stuff that's going on. And a big part of that in the corporate world is is HR. And like you get to a certain size, you know, you're a California-based company or whatever. Like people don't appreciate how much states and federal regulations and all this shit are just like a crowbar into a private company. And I think once, like, well, you've got to do this, and are you complying with California's employment regulations and blah blah. And you're like, well, we're a Delaware company, you know, we got operations there, but I mean, like, you can't run from it, and you'll never. Oh, there it is. I thought. I thought, man, he's gone.
No, I'm listening to you. I heard it all. Yeah. I'm with you.
And so I think that people don't appreciate. You get big enough, and all of the surrounding bullshit that you are forced to have to swallow, and you can't just like, hey, we're just going to do it this way, you know, like no, they'll come, they'll take all your shit. The government will come, you know, and like it becomes, there's a point where it's so bad, you know. I mean,
I remember one of my first experiences with that in my department, and it's not a big deal, but still, we hired a girl. We thought she was going to be great. 1 month later, she was pregnant. Then she left on maternity leave because of the rules, and she was gone for a year, and then she quit, and then she got to collect unemployment. And I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
Does she have no fucking pride? But she milked it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah. And when that's like, again, you think you can do everything you possibly do it all right. And like, that's just one in one department. You know what I mean? And like, and again, I'm not picking on
Yeah. Number one reason for me selling is HR.
There you go.
I remember another story. You probably remember this one, Dale, but
I remember that one. I don't want to say anything.
You probably remember this one too, where there were these 4 employees. They were making a fucking shitload of money. It was awesome. They were contractors. They were great employees, but they had been contractors too long. And so then, like, I don't remember the details, but then the state was going to force us to hire them, but for some reason we couldn't hire them. So they fucking lost their jobs.
Yeah.
Because of fucking some California fucking law. And it was like, it was a lose-lose for fucking everyone. The law was supposed to protect them, and instead they fucking lost their jobs. I was like, holy fuck.
It's like when California decided that Uber was going to have to treat Uber drivers as employees. It's the exact same thing. Once that happened, I was like, I remember being like, Uber's fucked. Like, that's it. That's the end of the game. That's, you know, you want to know why prices are higher, people, you bitch about why Uber's prices went up or whatever. That's why. Once California jammed that down their throat, they fought it. And once they said those guys are employees, you can't treat them as contractors. Now you've got they have to have benefits. How many hours a week do they work? You've got to have mechanisms for tracking all of that. I mean, in fact, I'm doing this right now all over again in some sense. We're fortunate we're able to kind of avoid it as attorneys because we're a law firm, and we have a single purpose LLC for the action lawsuits that we have. But like, same thing, we just want to hire a couple guys as contractors to help us with intake and all that. And you got to be careful. Like, we have an attorney who we use just to tell us to make sure we don't run afoul of the rules about everybody else and how we have to use them. You know what I mean? And we're all and like CrossFit was in the beginning, we're all completely geographically dispersed, virtual, taking advantage of in Kansas, one of the guys is in Florida, we're using his address, another guy's in Arlington, and like, so where do you have to pay on, insurance taxes, UI taxes and all that shit? Like, most people don't understand just how miserable. It's like the DMV on steroids, except just because you opened a business and wanted.
As soon as you get a little excess, as soon as you get past that threshold of like 6 employees, the government's just all up in your ass.
And by the way, this is directly relevant to affiliates. I mean, the great engine of CrossFit was the fact that, and this was part of, I got to give Greg credit. I mean, we looked at this very early on, whether CrossFit gyms should be franchises and have the protections that go along with franchises, as well as protected territories. You can't have another gym within 5 miles. You make them all like Kentucky Fried Chickens and all that shit. And Greg was like, no, we're not going franchise model. And part of it was all the legal things that go along with being a franchise, like what you're required to do and now you're subject to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and all that. Whereas if you go with a license agreement, along, a trademark that you protect along with a license agreement to use the trademark, it's a lot lighter touch. And that was the miracle of CrossFit's growth. I mean, your community probably knows that better than anyone. And so like, it is kind of funny. It runs right along with, you really do need somebody who's comfortable enough and confident enough that they could, with what they had done, like Greg. And again, like you said, like the people who come in, like bringing on doctors to tell us what we need to do. No, the whole point of CrossFit was this is fucked. It's been fucked. CrossFit was if the doctors had it right, we wouldn't have needed CrossFit. You know what I mean? Greg used to tell you that.
Yeah.
He used to say, like, if they had it right, he goes, if everybody was doing what they were supposed to do, if they were teaching in primary education what they should be about phys ed, PE, he's like, CrossFit there'd be no market need for us. Everybody would be doing the right thing. They'd be eating right. I mean, it is in some ways the grotesqueries of the food and medicine and all of its failures in fitness are the exact market opportunity that created CrossFit.
Look at this question. This is a great one. I wonder if deep down Greg is thankful for George Floyd made him richer than he would have ever been if he hung on.
I don't know about that because CrossFit had a solid economic engine, and absent George Floyd, if you try and wind the clock back and be like, what if that didn't happen? He just rolled along. CrossFit just kept fucking steamrolling with Greg at the helm. I don't know. I don't know if he doesn't do just as well, meaning like, maybe he decides at some point he does a peaceful sale to a good partner and he gets just as much out of it. So I don't know that in the alternate, if he's grateful, I don't know, maybe. I mean, again, I left and then he was gone. Nice. Matt Burns comes in, even with the spelling error, comes in off the top rope. Floyd 19, 25 mil per letter. Solid offering.
Hey, and don't forget this. He got that right as the stock market started its climb.
Yeah.
Everyone with a brain doubled their money.
Yeah. And on top of it, people should never forget, none of it's an accident. Like some people get rich because they're very fortunate and they're idiots. Mark Cuban. Greg was not lucky and is not an idiot. There are many people who wind up well, as financially well off as Greg are, it was a long, hard slog. They were an overnight success after 50 years.
It was interesting that we never had any real problems until we got an HR department, and then we got an HR department. And
hey, he used to tell that story publicly, so I'm not spilling any tea. But as soon as he hired HR, they were suing each other, had to separate and fire them.
Yeah.
As soon as he got HR, there was a fight in that office.
Yep.
But you remember?
Yeah.
I had to deal with all of that. Oh God. I had been HR in the early days.
Yeah.
I was
the legal team. Yeah.
The legal team was HR. We'd be like, all right, just cut that shit out, separate people. We had all kinds of crazy shit going on. But like, it's funny. That's the other reason for keeping it in private ownership. Again, once you have public ownership, now you're on the stock market and all that shit, it's over. You don't really control the company anymore. You've got a board and who's got shares and there's all this stock stuff. It's like suddenly you own a casino, not a business anymore.
I want to ask you this question, and I'm going to be a little vague here and then fill in the details. If let's say you send me an email, a private email.
I know where this is going because I read about this morning, but yeah, we're going to get there.
And I publish the email.
Oh.
To the internet.
Am I your lawyer? You're saying I'm your lawyer and I send you.
No, we're just two buddies and we're going back and forth and you send me an email and I publish that email to the internet. Am I in any trouble?
Well,
and then let me ask you this. Let me ask what the
defense.
Let me ask you this too. It's just so another way too. Let's say me and you are emailing. Caleb's not on the email thread, and he publishes the email.
Right. It depends on what's in there, and it depends on the state law. Like it depends on the nature of there's no good, clear at that level of generality that you just said, it very much depends on the specifics. If we're just two private citizens, and again, it depends on what's in the email and how you publish it. And because there are things like California has like rights to privacy and false light defamation. And, there's a lot of things about, particularly now, like the EU's got all these laws about rights to have yourself scrubbed from the internet, which is kind of a weird thing where basically you have a right to keep yourself anonymous. You have a right to your own anonymity. And AI is already bringing this up too, like what can you and what can't you? So there's no good answer to that. A lot of it just depends on the facts and circumstances. Depends on what's in the email and whether publishing.
Let's say you go ahead, Caleb.
If it's something if it's like my plan to fix Facebook, like Facebook is a failing company, and I'm sending my friend a plan. Yeah, be like, dude, I'm gonna revamp.
Here's
Facebook.
my
it's gonna be amazing
plan of how I would fix Facebook's fuckery, and then somebody publishes it. Now, again, did you send it as like part of a business plan? Was it intended to be a
okay? Well, I'll just cut to the chase. This guy, there was a guy who I don't know how anyone believed him, but there was a guy who was claiming he was going to try to buy CrossFit right on the internet, and his business plan got out. And then Caleb ran it through Chat GPT, and what did it say? It was like a most likely written by Chat GPT, a 49-page business plan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was assisted greatly by Chat GPT.
Yeah,
expounded upon using AI.
Yeah.
Would and that business plan gets out, does that guy have any legal recourse to sue anyone?
And then again, see, now we've got the First Amendment. It gets weird because then there's all this, right? Like it depends on how it gets out. And if it's published as like, is it a topic of public?
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty obvious that the whole thing was a joke, but
yeah, there you go. Global
does this guy, now that his business plan leaked out, does he have any recourse to go after people?
Nah, I mean, no, probably not. I mean, people always ask me, can he sue? And what they really mean is, can he win? You know what I mean? Like,
that's right. Of course you can sue.
Yeah, anybody can sue. I mean, you can sue anyone provided they'll stand still long enough to accept service. The real question people mean is like, will I win or will I won't? Is
like it the Dan Crenshaw thing?
Yeah, and the other thing too is you can even win shitty causes of action if you sue in the right place. I've been on the wrong end of that too. Like if no employer wants to be sued on a slip and fall case in East St. Louis. Some jurisdictions are just known where the answer for any jury that you pick in there, any 12 people are going to be like, get the man is the answer. Oh, you're a big company? Pay. That's our answer.
Right.
So there are jurisdictions like Louisiana's, most big defendants. That's why plaintiffs, personal injury, class action guys sue a lot in Louisiana because it's civil code. Yeah, the game's played on a lot of levels, So you gotta know that too.
What do you think what do you think it would cost someone? Let's say I want to buy CrossFit. How long do you think it would take me to do thorough due diligence, and how much would it cost me?
If you wanted to do a thorough due diligence, I would think you'd probably want minimum 90 days.
Yep. I heard it. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it takes 3 months to have people go through the books.
What does that entail? Like when you do your due, I always hear like due diligence.
Really quick, Caleb. Hold on 1 second, and we'll get to that. You can ask that. And how that would cost a small fortune, right? You have to be pretty committed to do.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna have like your own, forensic auditor, maybe forensic auditors, but you're gonna have your own accountants, like people. You're gonna have a professional accounting firm sit down with who's ever doing the books at CrossFit, and like, we're gonna do, okay, let's see all your audits, let's see your taxes, let's see. I mean, you do all that shit. There's an HR audit. I mean, mid 90 days, and like so. All of that shit that we just talked about all has, it's a bureaucracy. And so what's it got? A massive tail of paperwork that goes with it.
So maybe $1 million to do the audit.
Oh, a couple million.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
and that's always the thing I trip on. That's how I knew this guy who's putting the bid was a complete joke, because he was saying he was going to get he was telling people he was going to get the company in a week. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah,
the due diligence to go through CrossFit's books you have to be so fucking committed, and I think you have to show You have to show Moelis that you got 50 mil in your checking account before they'll even talk to you.
Yeah. By the way, the due diligence goes both directions.
Oh, they sniff up your ass to make sure you got the cash.
Yeah. Who the hell are you?
Oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just going to show up with a sack of money and you're going to hand it to me in the subway station. You know, like, fuck off. I mean, that's not how that works at that kind of level. Because, by the way, acquiring CrossFit has the Federal Trade Commission, because of CrossFit's position in the fitness industry, how even now still the number of gyms it has. Like, there's no other gym chain that's the size of CrossFit. I mean, Gold's isn't even close. You know, and right. Nothing's realistically the same size. So an acquisition of CrossFit may very well need somebody at the Federal Trade Commission to be like, all right, that's not a monopoly within the field or whatever. You know, like, for example, when somebody sold like a 24-hour fitness got sold, and I got an email from a woman at the Federal Trade Commission who wanted to know what we thought about it. And I was like,
what the hell?
I was like, we don't give a shit, you know. But like, I had to, when I had to, you know, in finding out, I'm like, why are you calling us? She says, hey, you know, this is another business. Acquiring is potential monopoly kind of play. And she didn't understand at the time. This was when we had like, I don't know, several thousand gyms in the US, and she didn't even know it. And so this was a woman who was working at the Federal Trade Commission, didn't know that we had it. And I went and looked up the acquisition and all the reporting on it. And I'm like, well, they've only got that's like 250 gyms. I'm like, we have more gyms than that in Ohio or whatever, you know. She was like, what? You know, I'm like, listen, and this is funny. This actually happened. Okay. And I typed in where her office was.
Yeah.
And I typed in, you know, remember when we had the locator? You could look up where any gym was near you.
Yeah.
So I put her office's address on on the CrossFit gym locator. And she was asking me all these questions about CrossFit. I go, well, listen, if you go out your door, if you go out your front office door and you take a left, I go, you'll have three options. Up the block at the end of that intersection, go left, and there's a gym right on the left, CrossFit gym right there. And because we were thick with gyms in DC.
Thick.
Wow.
It had the most density, I think, at one point, where the most gyms per mile, you know, like square mile, was in Washington, DC, of all places. And so I told her, I'm like, well, there's one here, there's one here, there's one here. She was just like, she wasn't interested in that. She was like, fuck off. So it didn't go anywhere. But so again, if somebody were acquiring CrossFit, like seriously down the road, you know, I'm going to have it in a week, they'd be like, dude, there's no way that's going to happen. Again, no one serious who lives in, you know, breathes in that world would even take such a thing seriously. You're not going to buy CrossFit a week. You'd have to be 3-4 months already down the road, have the money sitting in an account. Everybody knows when it's going to drop. They've got, you know what I mean? Like the tax implications alone. I mean, it's crazy shit happening. So no one's doing that on the off the cuff. Not.
It sounds like Dale was flirting with her. Maybe.
Hey, Jeffrey, if you knew let's put it this way. She was very much an HR type. We were not flirting.
You're not simpatico?
No, I was very much trying to keep myself from going to jail. That's probably more akin to how the conversation was going.
Hey,
my defense mechanism was to tell her we had a shit ton of gyms and leave me alone.
What do you think happens to this thing, this CrossFit thing? Like what's gonna in 50 years and 100 years? I don't mean the methodology or the lifestyle protocol, but does anyone ever realize like, hey, this is the software for the human genome? Like, is there anyone who can actually walk with that swagger besides Greg?
Well, you know, obviously, sure. There's people, if somebody in the community had, you know,
I don't even think 99% of the people in the community really understand.
But they
really have to hold, even though it's just one grain of sand, it's where all the light comes from, right? And so
there are people out there, though. I mean, we've run into people. Well, you and I in all our travels, my travels with Greg, we've run into people who clearly appreciate the profundity of the underlying operating system. You know, what it does. That is the secret sauce, really. The whole thing is, whether it's the affiliates or trainers or whatever, the CrossFit community is made up of people who have had the life-changing experience of of doing it on themselves and then being like, holy shit, you know, and coming out the other side and realizing, oh man. And then of course, you know, for those who become addicted enough, it becomes like you're consumed with it, and, you know.
But it's got to be someone who can say this stuff like, hey, there is no cure for cancer. Sugar causes cancer. You can't trust the doctors unless you have a fucking bullet hole in you. Like, I mean, those things take balls to say.
Yeah. Hey, look, it was a unique run. It was great that we all got to be a part of it.
So what do you think happens?
Hey, what happens to Apple, Sebi, now that Jobs is gone? Where's Apple headed? What's Apple look like in 100?
I mean, it's exploding. But I don't think CrossFit. I just, when I look into my crystal ball, I just continue to see it just float, big fucking ship floating out at sea.
Well, you know, affiliates, look, as the business model, there's enough underlying strength in the truth of CrossFit's claims that anybody who's smart, whether they use the name or not, could dial into it. A good trainer, like I could go out tomorrow if this law thing didn't work out, and start fixing people's squat and diet, and you know what I mean, and
right,
making an impact in my community around me. I could do it out of the church if I had to, or whatever. You know what I mean, like out of my backyard. So that never goes away, and so I think there'll always be some level of that. And the only question is, like, you know, King Arthur showing up to pull the sword out of the stone. Does a hero rise from amongst the masses to step up to it? And, you know, and hey, man, if somebody had the kind of jack to do that and then called me up and wanted my opinions and said, hey, would you come back on for, you know, I'd like, yeah, you want to, you know,
I'll take a ride with you.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, you know, you're looking for a lawyer, you know, like I might, you know. So.
What the thing that I would think it too is it's kind of like a religion. So Jesus dies. Yeah. And but 13 people got the download. 13 dudes or 12, however many dudes got the download, and so it survived.
Yep. Hey, that was a Jobs thing too, and that was something that Greg would, when that Walter Isaacson Jobs bio, because Mulvaney loved that.
Yeah. I got a copy and read that. Yeah,
and so we had, you know, looked at that, but I remember when. I don't know if you remember that circle diagram of, like, Greg was like, hey man, here's me, and then here's all the people that I can realistically influence in the course of a day. And you start to recognize, like, it's an interesting phenomenon when you think of it that way, is that in real life, like you can only touch so many people in a day and impact the rest of the world. You can only send so many emails out there, but largely you operate through a handful of other folks to help you be more effective to get shit done, because you just don't, that's how you magnify your time, you know?
Right.
And so he found, you know, Greg had, I don't know, you know, dozen of us or whatever it was who were, you know, who could go out and operate pretty well on limited guidance, because we had it pretty.
He had transmitted to us the belief.
Yeah, we got it. You know, the essential doctrines and tenets of the faith, you know, we were all versed in. And by the way, this is the same thing the military does. I mean, it all, like, elite units all do this the same way. The CO can't be everywhere and do everything. And so he's got, you know, XOs, company commanders, and, you know, what amounts to maybe a 10-man staff roughly that go out and carry out all of his vision, his plans. Then he goes around and inspects and encourages and helps make sure everything's still going, and, you know, shores up the various places, whether it's in, you know, for Greg, whether it was in media or the games or legal or whatever, you know, he would direct his attention, all that shit.
So do you think if it survives as a movement, it stays being called CrossFit, or it has a different name?
You know, it's funny. I have such an odd relationship with that trademark and that word and that name. I was wearing a CrossFit shirt yesterday. I haven't worn one in a long time. And I just put on one of the sweatshirts I had, which I really liked. It was just a plain gray kind of sweat shirt with just green logo. And it brought me back. No, I think the name sticks. It's like anything else, man. We still call it Kleenex and Scotch tape. And
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it just will. That's the name that Greg took, and it forever will be associated with that. And I don't think, I think it'll exist like Fight Club, you know, for It'll just keep rolling along. There'll always be hard men who need GPP for their lives, and so that's never going away. You know what I mean? As long as human beings are walking the planet and beating each other with sticks and poking each other in the eye, that's not going away. But remember, it can also be much, much smaller. There was a time when you know what I mean? There was a time when it used to be a big deal when I would stand up on a plane with my CrossFit t-shirt on, and you'd hear from somebody in the back of the plane would be like, "Oh, CrossFit!" Somebody in the back of the plane would be like, one dude, you'd stand up and be like, and then it was like, and I mean, that was kind of the Fight Club feel to it for a long time, and then it turned into like you couldn't be on a plane without running into somebody who had a CrossFit shirt on. And in fact, if you just sat and waited for everybody to stand up, you'd see 4 or 5.
You'd see the Rogue shit, and
you start looking at people's shoes. You see Nanos. You got the Go Ruck shoes now. The Nobles.
And then of course, how great was it when we used to? You'll remember this phenomenon. We used to go to the games, for example, and you'd have all going to one of our events, and then the planes would be loaded with us. Yeah, it's us everywhere, and everybody else can tell because we're the only all our gals have a V back because all of our women can do pull-ups and they're all yoked or they have shoulders. They look like swimmers. You know what I mean? We're rolling through the airports and it's like a bunch of wrestlers and a BJJ festival just ran through town.
Yeah. Or if you saw someone at an airport in 2015 and they were wearing Nanos, you could walk up to them and talk to them. And it wasn't weird at all. You could just be like, "Hey, what's up? What gym you go to?" Like you could and just pick up like you've been friends with them forever.
Hey, you remember we used to do this all the places we went, the Starbucks, and we used to look around. We'd be sitting in Starbucks and you'd look around and be like, we'd make bets about, is that one of ours or not one of ours?
Yeah.
If they ordered a cold brew, they were one of yours. If they ordered a latte or a peppermint mocha, they were one of theirs.
Always just look at the physique.
What if you could get into do you think, I know this is way out there, but when they put Dawn in charge, I think it was a significantly, obviously better choice than Rosa.
Right.
Do you think he had any idea what CrossFit is or was, and do you think he's figured it out? Because
no, I mean the answer to that would be no, because anybody if it had been figured out properly, completely, then they wouldn't be where they are right now.
Right. And even with his hands handcuffed, even with do you think he came in there and he thought this was going to be a regular business model and he was going to be selling widgets and that they not only do they do marketing, but they celebrate their marketing. And that always is a bad sign to me that oh shit, someone there doesn't know what this is.
Well, because you remember Greg's definition of marketing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything that you do that you spend money on that doesn't directly improve the product or the service.
Right. Yeah.
It's a great definition. I mean, it's like everything that doesn't matter.
And we would do a whole video every single day of something that happened in a level 1. And we would be like, "Hey, Greg, can we put a link that connects people to the level 1?" He goes, "No, I'm not trying to sell anything." And we're like, "We're not trying to sell anything either. It's just to make it easy for people to click on so they go level 1." He goes, "No, I don't want them to think for a second I'm trying to sell them anything." I'm like, "What the fuck?" It took me 10 years. It took me 10 years before I was like, before I surrendered that argument with him. I was like, "All right, fuck it, you win."
Yeah, I know. I tell him sometimes we'll be sitting around. I haven't seen him in a little bit, but sometimes I just tell him people will never appreciate how much, for all the people on the internet screaming about how Glassman was about the money, how much he turned away. Do you
remember when that billionaire sat down with us? This line will probably give it away. And he said, "Sir, are you allergic to money?"
Oh my God.
You remember that guy? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I did. Yep. I do remember that.
I don't want to say his name. Yeah. And that guy had success at the craziest level.
Yep.
He had a brothel that pretended to be a law firm.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's an amazing thing. I don't think people appreciate it. I didn't really, even as much as I thought I did. I just nodded my head. But like now that I'm older, you know, and you get some more experience.
So my question is even if Don knows that, maybe because of his fiduciary duty, he can't. He's like, he got in there and he's like, oh fuck, it's this, but I'm not allowed to do this because I'm fucking tethered to these fucking jackasses.
Again,
and then his hands are tied.
Greg's talked about this. You know, it was always like the venture capital, the money play is always that no one from the outside look. I mean, we did this with the Harvard MBA thing. You know, you were there, right? When we went to there, we went
half dozen times. Yeah, he would speak to the Harvard Business School. Yep.
Yeah, and then we did that thing where they put one of us from his staff, you know, from staff HQ in with each of the discussion groups. All these like Harvard MBA, massively successful people. And it was interesting, but they clearly had all this information, the professors and access to Greg and all that. And it was interesting. That kind of came around. A lot of them were like, yeah, he should never sell. You know, he absolutely should not sell. Like they came to understand it, but it's still something.
Like we would go in there and they'd be like, should he sell the company? And it's like 90% said he should. Then they would learn about the company and 90% would say he shouldn't.
Yes, that happened repeatedly. Where they would do this at Harvard Business School. CrossFit was a case study, and among the times that Greg went, one of the times they took about a dozen of us and they put us in. Harvard has these breakout groups you have within the Harvard Business School. And this is back when it kind of was still something. I think it certainly wasn't woke. And they would let us sit in but not allowed to say anything about, and they would present all the different facts of basically whether Greg should have sold or kept the company during the Anthos thing, whether that, you know, sort of quasi hostile takeover attempt should have been Greg should have just caved and given up the money. And you know, the big thing about it is from the perspective of like how you make money. If your sole driving thing is money, then yeah, the affiliates as points of sale. It's like you can instantly start selling merch out of 4,500 or 7,500 locations. Like you just instantly have access to that. That's the notion that you would not use that even in some small way to monetize it. But I thought people don't realize how much it really meant to him, what he really wanted to do. One of the earliest things he said that struck me and I really took to heart, and it drove a lot of the decisions we made subsequently. But Greg had always been a trainer. Like he liked training people. Like he's got great stories about working in Venice Beach, you know, when Arnold was there. Like he was a young trainer. You know, you've heard some of those.
Yeah.
Like he talks about that. He had the experience that many affiliates and trainers have had of getting somebody to trust them, and many martial arts people have, or wrestling coaches do, the delight in having a student take a genuine interest sufficient to do what you ask, and then to have results and look at you and have that light in their eye, like, oh my God, did you see that? What I did, you know? And Greg loved that. And he always said that what he was trying to do at CrossFit was he was attempting to professionalize the training space. Up until then, you used to hear him talk about this. He didn't talk. You don't hear it so much anymore. But like in the beginning, you remember how he used to talk about, you know, the guy at 24-Hour Fitness is wearing he's kind of yoked up and he's wearing the fucking polo shirt, you know, and he's holding the clipboard, and you know, he takes you around and moves the pin for you on the selector, you know, whatever,
yeah,
the pec deck. And Greg used to be like, what? Like that's not a trainer, you know, that's not what I do. And you know, he was a gymnastics guy, so he came out of like where people seriously train. Like you can't do it without somebody explaining to you how to do a planche or a lever or how, you know, back roll, just whatever. And so he really meant to professionalize personal training, and we did. You know, that was part of that was a big part of it. I think people don't realize that.
You are CrossFit, that is a ripoff. You're charging $1,000 for the L1 from anyone that has told me it's a retard level class. That's stealing. Are you kidding? I don't know what you're saying, but there's I've never heard anyone disparage the L1 ever.
Hey, a guy, obviously a guy who's never been there, and he tells you this fictitious person told me it's a retard level course. Like that comment should go right. It has as much merit just as what you would imagine from what it said. A guy who's never been there, who's never done it, hasn't seen it, but he's here to tell you how shitty it is. Thanks, dipshit.
I'll never forget the first time I heard it, and I've heard it 100 times. Someone's like, "Holy fuck! I was in an undergrad class for 4 years, and then got my master's from Tennessee Tech in physiology, and I learned more in 2 days at the CrossFit Level 1 seminar.
Yep.
Oh, Pat was just craving your attention. Okay. Well, he got it.
Yeah.
Good.
Who was that? Was that Pat?
Pat Lang, yeah. Pat Lang.
Oh, God, Pat. Jesus, I'm so disappointed. Pat, you know what? My phone will be blown up. I'll have 12 DMs from that guy on Instagram now telling me what a rip-off CrossFit was and how I was I'll be dealing with that for the next week. Great.
Matt Souza is currently the champion of promoting the professionalization of the trainer. Yeah.
Matt knows. Matt knows. But it was, look, it's not an easy thing to take a craft or a skill that many people for decades shit on and joked about with the subject of all kinds of, cultural stereotypes about how idiotic they were. And Greg was like, yeah, that's not what real training looks like. Let me show you, turned a profession out of, something that was previously not thought of. But I always liked the idea because he said, like, listen, we pay, hey, Pat, think about this. Seriously, don't be a dickhead for a second. Just think about this.
Just a second, Pat. Then you can go back.
Second, open that fucking thick skull. And just listen, if you go into a jiu-jitsu school, how do you know that guy can do anything? That he's not just a dipshit like Fred Villari's karates and then just giving out belts? How do you know?
Anybody can wear a black belt.
Anybody can wear a black belt. You can just stick a black belt.
You can just go buy one.
Right. You don't even need, what's he got on the wall? Did you check his certificate to know that he really is a black belt? Welcome to the world, man. What happens is you go in there. And the same thing is true if you put your kids in gymnastics. How do you know that the instructor can do anything or knows how to coach it? What if they don't look like, what if the gymnastics?
Dude, 90% of the programs I've put my kid in, I've had to pull them out because there's nothing going on.
Right. Like, this is just the way of the world. Welcome to you don't know that the food you're going to eat at the local restaurant isn't going to poison you. You know what I mean? Like,
I had this gymnastics coach for my kids. I paid her $100 an hour. She probably came to the house 20 times. The kids weren't learning shit. I drove them 45 minutes from here to a gymnastics center in Monterey. In 2 days, they were back flipping, back handsprings. They learned more in 2 days than they learned in the 20 privates.
Right. And what certificate? There's nothing there that, it's your commitment to transmitting knowledge that matters, not anything else but.
The deal, Sergeant, I own a construction company. We're currently adding a CrossFit set in it. And then he says, I use the mechanics, consistency, and intensity topic on how to teach my roofers to move more efficiently.
Of course you do. There's a sergeant right there. I presume a sergeant. It could be an Army sergeant, but there you go.
Here's the thing we're not recognizing, Dale, and I apologize, Pat. You hang out with the smartest people in the world, and Dale and I hang out with the 99% of idiots. And so for us, CrossFit's a fucking miracle. Right. You only right. You only hang out, and so I understand your perspective. Yeah,
it's tough to slum it. Yeah. We appreciate you coming here to slum it amongst the retards like us. We didn't get into conspiracy theories, man. What the hell?
Yeah, we're gonna do. I want to talk about Maduro's, the guy in Honduras. Venezuela.
Venezuela, right?
So I dug into it, and basically going back to 2016, I saw that Trump put like a $15 million bounty on his head. Then I think Biden raised it to 25 million. And then when Trump was in office for 2 or 3 months, he raised it to 50 million. And if you go to the site, it says the maximum the U.S. government will give for anyone is 25 million. And then right below it, it says Maduro's 50 million. Maduro.
That's what, Bin Laden had, I think his was 50 million at one point.
And
50 million for Bin Laden.
And so I'm hearing all the stories about it being oil and minerals. And then finally I hear a story that someone whispered into Trump's ear, hey, dude, these guys have been stealing elections since 2004. So then I look into their Smartmatic machines, and Maduro's Smartmatic machines, he sold 60,000 of them to the United States just in 2006 alone.
Yeah.
So Venezuela has been, and then I keep looking, and Venezuela is now in 70 countries. Their machines are in 70 countries. And
what could go wrong, Sevi, by having a guy who won what appears to be a very controversial fixed election be the manufacturer of voting machines worldwide? What could possibly, why would that be bad?
And And they say that his budget is $1 trillion, which is more than all of our agencies, 3-letter agencies budgets combined. That basically between the oil and the drugs and the selling of rigging elections, that he's managing basically $1 trillion, and that basically the Iranians are acting as the bank, and basically he's just selling services to the Russians and to China to basically fuck the United States.
Yeah,
and Trump knows that.
Yeah, well, of course he knows it. I don't know if you saw this recently. The woman who is the opposition leader who won the Nobel Peace Prize was asked at some UN forum about what's going on and is she afraid about Trump invading?
The CIA is claiming they snuck her out of the country last week. Did you see that?
Invading. They asked her about there she is, Maria Corina Machado. And so she was asked point blank, they're like, aren't you worried about Trump invading? And she's like, worried about an invasion. She's like, my country's already been invaded. And
like Hamas, Hezbollah,
and she said, listen,
the KGB.
Yes, she said, you have no idea that what it fundamentally is. And she said this, and then it was Walter Kern and Matt Taibbi were talking about this in the context of what Trump's doing out there. And of course, Taibbi comes from the left, and so he can't bring his mind to imagine just how shitty the world really is.
Yeah.
And so when he hears about what we're doing, of course, the only thing that ever gets presented is, oh, we're awful, we're terrible, we're mean, we're baddies, Trump's a fucking fascist and all that. But people have no sense of what's going on in the world. But yeah, Venezuela's become a hub for, it's like the Mos Eisley Space Cantina. It's a transnational shipping point and drug and money laundering and prostitution and all that stuff goes together. It's a black market haven in many regards. It's almost not. It's a narco state, that exports.
I think she said 60. I think she said 60% of the country is fractioned off to different groups. Like Hezbollah has their own section, Hamas has their own section, and I also heard there's 6 people there that have a net worth of over $100 billion.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
And a lot of that money comes from shipments of black market oil. So the tanker that just got stopped wasn't even flagged Venezuelan. It was like flagged in a third party country, but the Venezuelans claim it's not on file. It's flagged through another. So it's a stateless vessel fundamentally smuggling oil that's under embargo because of international, pressure and Russians or whatever. And so the U.S. has finally decided, again, we lived for, people need to understand, and I said this way back when I've written it. If you want to understand what's going on politically in the world or just the United States or any particular country, you could do worse than to look at Game of Thrones and just understand, like, just map that world. Like, as horrible as you think that is, you're like, that's crazy. It couldn't possibly be like that. Okay, banish that thought from your head. And now just imagine if it was like that.
Right.
Like, somebody sleeping with their sister, somebody's having somebody killed because that.
And it's just fractioning. It's just fractioning gangs.
Yes. And even within an administration, like when Biden was completely not, we now know, for all of us conspiracy theories, right again, Biden was non-compos mentis. And so I think I was on here and I said this years ago to you, that what's really going on behind the scenes is all the different, every major cabinet level position is like its own kingdom. It's got this giant bureaucracy behind it and its own institutional prerogatives and all that shit. And so you see that in all of the executive orders where all these different interest groups grabbing. I mean, you saw the whole auto pen thing. Now they've traced it. Well, you might not have seen that, but they've traced it. I mean, we're looking at it closely, and there's probably going to be some litigation around because it matters to some of the things. Some of these executive orders that were passed were like signed off by the auto pen at 3:21 in the morning, and Biden was in a different. He's in Delaware.
The vaccine stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The executive orders and all the things, but not just there, but other things that involve some other litigation relevant to me and my partners. But they can track exactly when the auto pen was used and from which residents logged in, just IP address. Mm-hmm. And so it's like Biden's in Delaware and he never logged in on the auto pen after July of 2021 or 2, but not like within shortly, not too long after he's president, he never logged in anywhere on the auto pen again. And it's all these other people logging in under different it's Ron Klain, chief of staff. It's all these other people. And so when that's going on, buddy, they're selling. You know what I mean? They're selling things to executive orders. That's what that's about. And so people don't realize that's been going on. And the rest of the world knows that too. The rest of the world is watching us as closely as we're watching them. Our shit's tapped and we're being spied on, and not just by your own government, but the other, other hostile regimes in the world. And China's is got its hand up our ass so far, people can't even imagine. The Chinese play the long game, and they've had their hands up our ass for 30 years. And I go there. I love the Chinese people, but we should be under no illusions about the Chinese government. All of this stuff going on in Venezuela, the Chinese were building, they had acquired a lease right at the Panama Canal, and they were building a bridge from one side of the Panama Canal to the other. And as soon as Trump came in, he was like, that shit's stopping. And that's when Hegseth went down. Like, real politics in the real world is serious business. I mean, it's gangster as fuck. Nobody wants to hear that. Americans, we still have this Victorian sense of politics that we got from the British, where appearances matter, and you keep that out of the front view. And Trump's like, hey man, it is what it is. You know what I mean? He's a New York real estate guy. You think he doesn't know gangster?
One of the things that I heard is that wasn't even that ship that they busted, the oil tanker, was just parading as an oil tanker, and it was actually headed to Cuba. And it had tons of fucking radar jamming shit in it. Super high level radar jamming shit to get to Cuba in case to jam our comms.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff like that goes on that it gets reported one way. And I mean, this, and shit gets, I mean, it's like not even a distant cousin to what really happened, particularly when you're talking about this. Like, I told you.
Why doesn't the mainstream media get off the oil? Why isn't mainstream media talking about Smartmatic? Why is election fraud stuff taboo to talk about?
Of course it is. There's still my partner is still defending his law license over merely being an editor on a document that was part of a case that challenged the election. He didn't file anything. His name's not on a pleading. Dude was just because he's such a good legal writer, people reach out to him like, hey, would you help us clean this up? He's a great writer, legal writer. And so he did some editing work, and his name got on a list. And so Mark Elias's 65 Project target, he's been defending. I had to go testify on his behalf in DC bar proceedings. He's fighting for his law license. The Democrats have gone after anyone. Sidney Powell, she had to they went after anybody who had the temerity to suggest the 2020 elections weren't on the up and up. Has Mark Elias's 65 Project. The bad guys own the state bars, just like we talked about HR.
Yeah.
Guess who else flocks to that shit? Bar regulatory authorities, all that. You have to be. I mean, you can't be like. It's amazing how quickly you can find yourself on the wrong end of a bar proceeding. But again, all of this lawfare is a surrogate for actual warfare. People just don't really grok that we use lawyers in lieu of using pitchforks and torches and stabbing each other in the chest with tridents and all that stuff.
Jody Lynn, very generous. Institutional knowledge is priceless. Dale, loving these stories.
Thank you. Glad you like to hear it. My daughters are tired of all of them, so it's nice to have a new audience. Plus, they lived some of them.
Jake, shit.
Hey, look at that. It's like a human cue ball. Listen, Jake, with a head like that, just take it easy there, Charlie Brown. Take it easy.
Listen, buddy, go back. You should be at school right now. What are you doing listening to the show? Go back.
Look at
geometry's in session at the local high school. Get in there, buddy. Holy shit. Listening to anything non-CrossFit related from Sevon is exhausting. Okay.
You'll be all right.
Oh, boy.
Hey, CrossFit was never about just talking about CrossFit stuff. I mean, every third day was all-out war on the either on the message boards or on the main page. They don't do that anymore, Sevi.
I just can't believe this fucking picture. I can't believe I'm getting an eighth grader. An eighth grader is.
It almost looks like he's wearing one of those, those bald things they pull on the plastic. You know what I mean? It looks like he pulled on like it's an acting thing. Caleb's looks legit. This guy, looks like he's
a new bald guy. He's a new bald.
No, dude, lice. There was lice at the elementary school, and he had to cut his fucking hair. What are you talking about?
That off because the peanut butter couldn't get the gum out. Is what happened there.
Oh my goodness!
You got a sucker.
All right. Well, Jake, I'm glad you're a listener.
It's like
you don't have to work out today. I'll exhaust you, and you'll be you get a WOD
like
credit.
20% of my audience just listens to me.
Yeah. God, I hope it's that much. Do we when do we bomb them? Are we just?
No, it won't be bombs. So listen, it's very easy. Somebody else pointed this out. Venezuela is everything with them. They do nothing over land. They don't have railways, not in anything amounts. So their entire economy is dependent on shipping. And so we can turn that off whenever we want. That's what's going on. That's why there's a carrier group down there right now. Whenever the U.S. wants, if it comes to like, and that's what's going on, is they're going to blockade, do a naval blockade of Venezuela. And that shit'll be the end of that bullshit in a hurry.
So it sounded at first Putin was going to defend him, and now Putin's stepped away. I was theorizing that Trump is making some sort of deal with Putin. That like, okay, we'll give you Ukraine, you give us, you stay the fuck out of Venezuela.
We're entering the multipolar world, which is, and we're going back to, Greg had talked about this for a long time, for years, that when Trump got elected, he was like, we should have a kind of Monroe doctrine. Like, you guys don't fuck around over here. And, like in this hemisphere, we are the biggest dog on the block. And so we're not going to have any fuckery down there. Particularly, people don't realize how important the Panama Canal is. It's a critical thing. And Carter giving that back to the Panamanians was fucking idiocy. But it did have terms and conditions attached to it as part of the treaty. And so, the U.S. has a right to, like, we're supposed to get no worse than equal treatment to what's sort of regularly going on down there. And it was like, hey, that's obviously not happening. But again, Biden was asleep at the switch. This was all allowed to happen. None of this was, how many more ties does the Democratic Party need to have to China before somebody fucking wakes up? That is a front to organization for the people's, the Peaceful People's Republic.
Let me drop this on you. Do you think that this is, so another headline was that Maduro asked Trump, hey, let me take $200 million out of the country and 100 of my people, and I'll leave. And Putin told him, yeah, you can come sit in Belarus for the rest of your life. You think that there's deals like that going on? And then, yeah.
I've heard some high level people saying they think that what's being worked out is the landing place for Maduro and his folks, and whether he's going to get an apartment in
Paris or not,
San Moritz or in fucking Switzerland or somewhere else. But yeah, he's going to go where a lot of deposed regimes go to. Like, go to some whatever it is,
where Game of Thrones characters go to die.
Yeah. Well, peacefully, you know what I mean? It's like,
action
for, high level government officials who've been sacking their fucking countries and people want to go on without bloodshed.
Yeah.
Those are the options. The other options are a lot less good. And it makes Gene Hackman dribbling drugs onto his dead wife look good by comparison. So.
Do you know about this guy that they have at Rikers Island? He was the chief intelligence officer over there when Smartmatic started in Venezuela. He's been in there. You heard about this guy. He's been in jail there 2 years. And finally, supposedly he started singing like a bird.
Yeah. That's what's supposedly behind a lot of this is his intel chief or whatever, the Venezuela is now like, he's found Jesus or whatever. Well, as men do. And a lot of the actions would suggest, and again, there are other ways, like, the guy doesn't even need to do too much, if you think about it, to give up enough information that we just, the U.S. turns the eye of Sauron to where it needs to look. And now, when we do like wholesale,
but they always knew. Biden knew. All the administrations knew that we had that guy. Why wasn't anyone questioning him? Is it because they didn't give a fuck? They don't care. The same reason they leave the border open. They don't care. It's like part of their plan. Well, they care. It's part of their plan.
Yeah, again, Sebi, I tell people without one shred of, I'm not being ironic or joking, that the Biden administration we were under a hostile, that was like an occupying government. That was like Vichy France when controlled by the Nazis. We were under, you look at the executive orders that were passed, the things that were done, we were being occupied by another government. It's the first time in history, I think it will go down. I want to be on record as saying this. The old joke is that you can vote your way into socialism, but you have to shoot your way out.
Yeah.
Trump's election in 2024 is the exception to that rule. was we voted our way out of socialism miraculously because they had to observe the form. But even now, go back and look at the numbers Biden got in the 2020 election. It's laughable. More votes than we have registered voters in the country. I mean, like insane shit. You know what I mean? Like laughably, and it's because the education system is so bad. We have a innumerate population. We have people who fundamentally don't understand fucking numbers.
That's the part. So it's believing your lying eyes. So so when they had these 60 cases go to court and judges threw them out before they even heard them, saying that the election was overthrown. And now the Democrats are like, they just read the headline. They're like, well, he lost in court 60 times. And you're like, no, he didn't. They didn't hear the cases. But let's not even worry about that. Let's look at the fact that the numbers don't add up. There were more votes than there were people. Yeah. And they just blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, this isn't about winning or losing. This is about living in fucking reality.
Yeah. Hey, Sebi, I had, how many cases did we lose on the, hey, there's no licensed vaccine. And yet here we are now. We're still in federal court. I got 3 class actions. And now Pete Hegseth has come out and said, yeah, there was no licensed vaccine. You know, like now that he's Secretary of War. Oh, yeah. He had his May 7th guidance was, hey, look, and he got on a Twitter space. He said it openly. He was like, hey, look, we all know that the Biden mandate was unlawful because it was an experimental vaccine. There never was a licensed vaccine. I'm going to say it again. So people go look at your shot cards. There was never a Comirnaty. It was licensed for a day, not even the full day. Its license was pulled the same day it was granted. It's never happened before. The whole thing was an op. It's all, you've been living a lie. And people are struggling to come to grips with that. It's a hard thing.
I saw something the other day that 3 of the 5 vaccines that were deployed in the United States, they weren't even, the vaccines that were deployed weren't even the ones that were tested. They had different ingredients in them.
Yes, none of them. Yes.
I was like, what the? Yeah. They tested this, but then deployed this?
Yep. They never, the FDA waived all the inspection requirements that they normally require. You can't get a biologics license without also getting a license for the facility. They tried. We had cases where they were pulling post-dated letters out of their ass, and we went after them. And then all the DOJ attorneys who were part of that disappeared, quit, went back to civilian practice. They were hired specifically. They were former pharma lawyers were brought in to defend the DOJ. And like, people have no idea about how corrupt and how fucking bad it is. And you know, it's not their job, I guess, arguably. If we had a real press, they would. And if we did, in fact, that's why control of the press is important. If people were really reporting what was going on, politicians would be swinging from lampposts.
Yeah, it's another thing I saw, a study that just came out, is that people who got the vaccine 6 months after they get the vaccine, they have a significantly higher rate of COVID now.
Of course.
Than the people who didn't get it.
It's like we willfully suppressed everything we had learned in basic epidemiology. That all the hard lessons that we had learned up to that point went out the fucking window, so that we could use an experimental product that had never been successful in any animal trials. We decided we were going to, you know, and it was all marketing, like the same kind of just crap. Like, well, this is like, you know, now that we got the human genome, we got the human genome map, you know, now we can treat the human genome like it's fucking code. That's everything now. AI, that's bullshit too. Hey kids, AI's bullshit. It's all bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how much I have to keep fucking saying this. I want to ask you
what you mean for that in 1 second. Let me. I have a friend who's an executive at a company over the hill that everyone knows that prints money, subscription service company. I mean, they got everyone, and they're a complete libtard. And I remember sitting with them when COVID broke, and they're like, oh no. And they go, what? I go, what? They go, I don't think COVID's real. Is that crazy to say that? I go, why do you say that? And she goes, this looks like a product launch. This looks like a perfect product launch of a new product. And I was like,
a burger and fries.
And she explained it to me, and I was like, oh shit. And then so recently I read, I wonder if this is true, Dale. I read that Pfizer and Moderna didn't even make their vaccines, that the U.S. government made them and just asked if they could put the label on them, Moderna and Pfizer, that it was all made by the U.S. government. Is that true?
When I was
DARPA made it.
When I was litigating against the government, there was something that happened in court. And then we got discovery. I had said something publicly in a case about the presence of DOD officials on the floor at a private manufacturer making the anthrax vaccine. I had made public comment about it. And then later in litigation, we got emails, and it's a senior military officer referring to, I don't know if it was me or Lou or whoever it said, it might have been Lou Michaels, but anyway, referring to the comments that we had made publicly. And he's like, the email was, thank God they haven't been down on the floor. Wait till they see what that fucking looks like at the whatever, And that was in 1999 or 2000 or early 2000s. There's been a joint vaccine acquisition program in the military since the early 90s. The Gulf War was the beginning of this. And so the DOD had the JVAP, and it was congressionally funded, and every fucking vaccine manufacturer rushed to be on the list of contractors for it's almost like the super soldier thing, like Captain America, the Hulk kind of thing, where they're going to make this super vaccine, the Joint Vaccine Acquisition Program. And that Joint Biologics Product 2020, there was a program called Joint Biologics Project 2020, and that existed in 1996. So you tell me what you think that means.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you mean AI's bullshit?
It's not intelligence. That's not intelligence. It's not sentience. It's a program that you can put your finger on the scale, and it just does a great job of putting the next word in line, selecting based on what came previously. But
does anyone not? You think there's people who don't know that?
I think there's a lot. I know people. I've done work for people who believe that AI is going to be, and smart people, but everybody can fall for it. It's the siren song. We created intelligence by just writing some code, and now we're like God, and
it's just Google. It just compiles everything for you.
Yeah. It's not.
So wait a second. What you're telling me is that we're 5 years away from some libtard. When their computer breaks, they're going to bury it in a cemetery. They're going to think it's actually. Are we?
There are people who are already in relationships who are getting married to Chat GPT. You seen that shit? That trend? That's already people are already.
Oh
Caleb.
My God, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
Caleb, right?
Yeah, there are people having like relationships with their AI, and then at some point,
you mean like people get up in the morning and will say good morning to it?
Yes.
And imagine they get those robots. Wait until the Optimus comes out and people. Yeah.
There's teenagers committing suicide from AI.
I saw 20. I was reading about the 20 cases so far.
Yeah. And I mean, these AI companies are getting sued for it.
Yeah.
Because by the parents.
And you know what's interesting about that is one of the legal defenses, but they'll never raise would be, hey, this is all just you're talking to yourself. If I were like,
right.
You know what I mean? But none of them are ever going to say that because it's way more important to the bottom line. They would much rather pay the lawsuit and be like, oh my God, we're so sorry, than to say, hey, it's all fake. Sorry, kid, you're talking to your own voice. Don't do that. You're talking to yourself.
Right.
I find really smart people, the thing about AI is it will reflect back your own thoughts to you so well that you can just see people, this is the most amazing thing ever. And I'm like, oh, no. I've watched it happen over and over to people I know, a bunch of times.
Hey, that shit gets put into you at a young age. I'll never forget asking some older lady. She was probably like 40 at the time, and I was a little kid, and I asked her how old she was, and she chastised me. And what she didn't realize is I had asked her a question. Then she took offense. She had a voice start up in her head, and then she responded to that voice instead of responding to me. She made up some fucking story like I did something wrong. I'm fucking 5, bitch. Like, I just want to know how old you are. I'm not judging you. I just want to know I'm 5. Like, that's a big thing. I'm 5 and a quarter. How old are you? Yeah. And you remember that politically correct shit when you weren't allowed to ask women their age? I don't know if it's still around, but that's so you're saying in that way that they're just talking to themselves and they don't even know it. Holy shit. One of my nephew told me that he has a friend who speaks to AI like it's a person, but I didn't really get until you're saying this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a friend to them. That way they don't have to go out into public and talk to some random child down the street on their block so they can go play kickball.
Like the other day I asked AI something and it says this is a very sensitive topic, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you're a computer. What do you mean? It's what?
Sevi, it's just
shut the fuck up. Like that's like imagine your calculator being like, don't push the button so hard. Like, what? What?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Sensitive.
You be like,
determine what's sensitive. You fucking tell me what I need to know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, there it is. Let's pick that up next time. I gotta run. I gotta go do some lawyer shit.
I love you to death, buddy. Thank you. Too long. I'll have you.
I know. I gotta come out and we'll get together soon. But
okay.
Now, kick the government's ass.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Good to see you, Dale.
Good to see you.
Dale Saran. Smartest guy on the planet. Wow. Elon complains about dropping birth rates, yet he created an AI companion on X that you can have a relationship with.
Well, I mean, he's picking up the birth rates by having so many children.
I have this Grok button on my phone.
Yeah.
But I don't really know how to use it.
What do you mean Grok button?
Like I just have a Grok button. I just pushed it for the first time.
Oh, it's like Siri?
Dude, you know what this is going to show? I guess. I don't know. I need to figure out how to use it. But you know what I saw the other day? Someone's going to be like, yes, Evan, this has been around for years. Because people have been making fun of me because I still use Google. But this dude I was in, a parent at my jiu-jitsu class took a picture of the jiu-jitsu studio and then asked Chat GPT, how can we make the stuff in here organized better? Like the shoes and the lunch buckets. And it fucking created a photo for him, like in seconds. With like shelves and how it should be organized, and it looked real as fuck.
That's cool. Crazy.
Sevon, have you looked at the Bondi shooting? Yeah.
That's wild.
Pretty wild.
I was
who
brings a bolt action rifle to a mass shooting?
I heard it was a father and son team. And I heard there were 4 cops just standing there who didn't do anything.
I heard the son got curb stomped.
I saw a video of that. I might have that video of that.
That is sick.
While he was dead.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, let me see.
I think they beat his ass.
If I have that.
And then they interviewed the guy who was part of it. The news did.
Who curb stomped
news.
The guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
they were like,
wow.
Yeah, we just kicked the shit out of him, basically. It's like, that's sick.
I don't see the video.
You use what you have, Bert Jeffrey.
I don't know what's going on with my show notes. I saw
if you plan a mass shooting, you should probably get some better equipment.
I think Dent sent me a great video of it all. Let me see if I have it here.
When your internet went down earlier,
yeah,
I was shitting my pants.
Oh, why?
Usually I have like a question lined up.
Oh,
but it was so early that I didn't have something to talk about, and so
Dale can carry a whole show.
Well, he didn't say anything, and I was like, "Oh fuck." So what do you think about CrossFit, huh? I was like, "Oh, great! This is cool."
The Bondi shooting is just more. They're just doing the Muslim thing. That's just the Muslim thing. Hey, listen,
Pat, you can get any guns anywhere. It doesn't matter if there's a no gun law. You can get any guns anywhere.
He thinks he's being funny or something. They put when they the in 1997 when they outlawed handguns in the UK, the very next year gun crimes went up 40%.
Crazy.
The very next year.
You gonna be honest with me though?
Absolutely.
Have you ever said the N-word before?
Have I ever what?
Said the N-word before?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
How did you say it?
Well, when I was in prison, we clowned around a lot with a lot of brothers, I ran with the natives, and they. So what's up, my nigga? Stuff like that.
You gonna be honest with me though?
Now listen.
Absolutely.
Listen. I just want to say this. This is great. This is a great video. Great video. And I know this is usually Hiller's domain to give advice and on how to film. But when you have a white guy and a black guy together and the white guy says nigga, the only thing we care about is the black guy's reaction.
Yes.
So 0.5. Use 0.5 when you film that one. I mean, it was good. It wasn't bad. I give it a
I see what you're saying.
7 or 8,
Yeah,
but like a little wider so we could just see his immediate, because that's where the tension is, right?
right.
When he said he hung out with the natives, you mean like the Native Americans or the
Probably.
Native Nazis? Oh,
Native Americans, probably.
because of his hair?
That's what I think so.
That guy's
Looks
got
like he's got some sort of Native American necklace too, or something. I don't know.
He's got a great look. What do you think's in his front pocket?
What?
Have you ever said the N-word before?
Is that his wallet? Who carries their wallet in their front pocket? What is that?
What?
Deck
You
of
carry
cards?
your wallet in
Have I
the
ever
back
what?
pocket?
Said the N-word.
No, I carry it in my front pocket, but not in my shirt. No, look at his shirt. Sorry,
Oh,
his
his
shirt.
shirt
Before?
pocket. Okay.
I don't let anything hang on my shirt. Look at that. Oh, he got a pen in there too.
Oh, that's a notepad for sure.
Like he's a rapper.
Yes,
Santa
that's
Claus,
that's exactly right.
Santa Claus needs a haircut.
Hey, he's got a few more. He got a week or two.
I hope we can keep that fucking 8th grader who commented earlier. That was crazy.
Did you know did you see his last name was Dome?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think it was fake?
No,
Just
I
went
think
with
it's real. But his last name's Dome, which is pretty funny.
This is wow. It went from wow. I don't know how much. I don't know how much you want to get into this. So just so you guys know, Wade was never in contention. When you have a business plan written by ChatGPT, I tried to tell you guys before the spin show that there was no there. It's so funny how many people got riled up by that. When you have a business plan written by ChatGPT, you're not serious. And there's obviously just like the easiest clues to see that, like, due diligence. I mean, you heard Dale say it could cost a couple $1 million and take 90 days. Dale knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, he's been through a few instances where somebody's trying to buy CrossFit or some sort of litigation.
And no one's gonna be a serious buyer isn't DMing keeping it real. No offense.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God, dude. I can't.
No. And a serious buyer is never going to be afraid of a fucking Tyler and John Young and spin on YouTube.
If you are going to get deterred by one podcast, you never deserve to own any company for that matter.
So to any affiliates who actually fell for that, yeah,
What's crazy is I'm hearing that this was copy pasted to numerous people.
So is this what he sent to Grant?
This is what he sent to Grant.
I guess this is Wade's response. Thank you. I don't know what Grant said to him, but he says, thank you. Today's horrible YouTube has me second guessing everything. The amount of hate my family has received is not deserved by everyone. I think he means by anyone. It's all false. My heart is to only help everyone win and grow and make money and get healthy. This has been a hard and malicious without even talking to me.
Shut up.
I am sad and hurt. And dude, what's funny is he talked to everyone.
Did he?
Hey, no, not everyone. He didn't talk to anyone who matters. I am sad and hurt that it might be worse for every affiliate. The company is on the brink of bankruptcy. By the way, if CrossFit goes bankrupt, that doesn't affect the affiliates at all. And they blast people who may be willing to help, but instead receive hate. I wish you guys the best, truly.
Tell me what hate you're receiving.
That reminds me of when someone else said that they were afraid for their lives because of something we said on the show. I'm going to talk to my lawyers.
I can't believe somebody would even think that, like, to even pose that you're serious about doing something like this, spending $200 million on CrossFit, and you're sad that somebody took your proposal and was like, oh, this is actually not a very good proposal. Let me tell you about all the things that you could do better. It was like it was an advice show. He's just trying to tell you, hey man, this is not how this works. This is not how CrossFit is as a business. We're not a franchise.
Doses, I hope you don't believe this. Pat, I hope you don't believe this. It's because you fucking Googled it wrong, you jackass. Go state by state. God, you're fucking so stupid, dude. Seriously. Try to figure some things out. This show is fucking often shorthand. Pat's saying Dale just told us that there were more votes than registered voters in 2020, which was off by over 10 million. Call me crazy, but Dale doesn't sound trustworthy. Go state by state, you fucking ding-dong. Why are you trying to prove your ignorance so much? The kinds of things you get hung up on, the minutiae you get hung up on is fucking crazy. If I told you I OD'd on Viking, you'd be like, no, he didn't. He OD'd on Oxycontin. Okay. Hey, dude, not relevant to the fucking story for most of us. Dude, I fucked her in the boys' bathroom. No, you didn't. You fucked her in the girls' bathroom. Okay, dude. Not the point of the story.
It's like when you say I talked to somebody yesterday and it was 3 weeks ago.
I don't know.
It was actually a month ago.
Yeah, I know. Or when it's fucking retarded. These people these are the kind of people who never will be in an intimate relationship. Someone has Pat fatigue. What is that one? What does that mean when someone says like they have black fatigue? I never knew what. I can't figure out.
You're just tired of dealing with somebody's bullshit. It's like you're tired. You're tired.
If I see a black person say I have black fatigue, that means they're tired of just other black people.
Yeah,
the black people narrative. Okay.
It's like when you go into a Walgreens and all the shit is gone and you have a black woman with long ass nails yelling at the cashier for not letting her steal all the things. It's like, dude, I'm so fed up with this. I have black fatigue.
What is wrong with what Pat said? CrossFit, there are shitloads of stories out there in voting jurisdictions where there were more votes than there were living registered voters. There's tons of stories out there like that. So Pat basically put in how many registered. This is what Pat did. Pat put how many registered voters are there in the United States, and he got let's say it said 100 million, and then he said how many people voted in the 2020 election, and he got 90 million. So he's like he got out his pencil and paper and he did the math and he subtracted 90 million from 100 million. He's like, oh, I got him. It's just fucktarded. It's like, hey, what you need to not worry about whether Dale's trustworthy. You need to just worry about your fucking listening abilities and to extrapolate the wisdom out of what's being shared. Dumbass. Start with the states that should have never fucking been won, like Arizona. Fuck nut. Pat still thinks that Trump has 34 felonies. But doesn't he? Okay, so there's this other I don't know if I can bring this up. Can I bring this up? This photo? I don't know if I can bring this photo up. Someone just sent me a photo. Or if I should just read it. I guess allegedly Wade is doing I don't know what he's doing now. He needs to move on to Wade. Move on to the next thing, dude. You got a wife and kids and shit. Just go have fun. I know what you tried to do. He read the Patrick Bet-David books on how to like materialize your dreams, and he believed it and
right
and didn't work. Like it didn't work. You weren't able to. Like I get it. It's fine.
But here's the thing. Nobody's stopping him still. He can still do this.
He can still buy it.
He's still capable. Yeah. But the problem is somebody said, "You're an idiot. What are you doing?" And he backed off like a stupid fucking bitch. Like a 15-year-old boy.
I'm 3/4 through the Diddy documentary. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Like you This is
I don't know him, so
all of your
I don't know him,
books.
so I don't want to call him a little bitch. But
dude.
But I saw. I took a quick peruse through his Instagram. I saw the pictures with PBD. I see he's got that greasy, juiced up vibe to him, and like he's probably feeling this. You know what I mean? He's probably got like $20 million in Bitcoin, so he's feeling himself, and
that's cool, man.
He just got out over his skis a little bit.
You can get back on your skis and keep trying. That's what all the self-help books tell you to do anyway. You're gonna meet resistance, dog. You're trying to buy the thing that we hold most dear. This is not a 24-hour fitness business. Nobody who runs a 24-hour business gives a fuck about 24-hour business or 24-hour fitness. They just want the money.
Yeah.
People care about being an affiliate owner. People care about making people the healthiest that they can possibly be. They want to get rid of the cancer. They want to get you off statins. They want to provide you with the cure for the world's most vexing problem.
Thank you.
And you are nobody to us.
Right.
You are nobody to us.
Yeah.
You are just somebody with
news
money.
Cycle. Yeah, you're a news cycle.
You have done nothing to endear yourself to us. And now all of a sudden, you've reached resistance and you bitched out. That's fine. We don't need you here. We don't need you part of the Hell's Angels, dog. Go away.
Well said. I don't care. I'm okay with him here. I like him here. You don't like him here?
I don't like him here if he's going to act like that.
Oh, you mean
he's gonna go make the rounds talking about how everybody hates him and he's sad and he's depressed and all this other shit.
Yeah.
Dude, you're Rosa. You're another fucking Rosa, dude. Go play guitar in some random Colorado bar. We don't care about you.
You're saying like, hey, if you're gonna buy the company, but instead he was running for some popularity contest.
Yes. This is what I was talking about.
He wanted to be homecoming king.
When you start going around and trying to meet a bunch of you have to take pictures with PBD. You take pictures with Rich. You start reaching out to all these people. You're like, oh, it's a popularity contest. I just need to. I want to be friends with all these important people. I don't give a fuck if you're friends with these important people. What I care about is what you do with the relationships you have with those people.
I'm going to read you something he sent to someone recently. He better be careful so he doesn't get sued for tortious business. Interfering with the business. CrossFit and Moelis and Berkshire might butt fuck this guy if he's not careful. Wade, be tiptoe out of the room, dude. Just be cool. Join a gym. Join an affiliate. You'll like it, dude. A woman posted a picture of dog with "I voted" sticker after registering pet to vote. I know, Pat. Look, Pat, it's your favorite news source, ABC News. A California woman is facing 6 years in prison for allegedly registering her dog to vote. I don't know. Do I need to say anything else, Pat? Fucking dork.
This picture is crazy.
I heard that what picture?
The one you just sent.
Oh, I said okay. So a couple things I heard. I don't know if these are true or not, but I heard that the people who are affiliated with Wade are tiptoeing away from him. I'm hearing the Mark Masterkoff guy's terrified of him now because he's gonna because he's acting like a fucking weirdo, and they don't want their reputations damaged. So I know a handful of people who are acquainted with them. It was pretty obvious when if you're talking to Shawnee and Tommy from Talking Elite Fitness and they're like, you did 90 minutes with them, you clearly,
dude,
are
waste of time,
completely clueless.
They don't even pay attention to CrossFit, dude. They don't even pay attention to what's going on with CrossFit, around CrossFit, with the games. They have no idea.
You're DMing with meme people. Okay.
With a meme account, dog.
Meme accounts. Okay. So this is I think I sent you. Only pull up the. Oh, okay, I think I sent you the right one. So I guess this is allegedly from Wade. He says, then buy it out of bankruptcy, laugh out loud. People believe someone who didn't confirm the authenticity. Maybe that's why CrossFit will be bankrupt before anybody thinks. I am out of buying it, so believe the hit piece, but there are no other buyers, and they are out of cash.
He never had cash to begin with.
He's fucked up. They are out of cash. So here's the thing. If he had actually seen the books, he would have had to sign an NDA. And if he's saying this, he's going to be fucking sued into oblivion. So he didn't even see the books. He's just going off of rumors. That they're out of cash. That to me is a worse situation than me or anybody else. But the cult can't take a step back and view the bigger issue and landscape. At least now he knows we're a cult. Good luck to you, and hopefully they can find a buyer before bankruptcy. I truly wish you and your family nothing but the best. God bless.
buddy.
God, bankruptcy would be fucking amazing.
What would it? What does that do?
That means fucking they got to sell it to Greg for fucking $5.
Nice. It'd be like Barstool and Dave Portnoy all over again.
Does there even need to be an HQ? What good affiliates or gyms need to be affiliated at this point? No, I think there does need to be an HQ.
Yeah.
The problem is who's going to carry that mantle? Who's going to walk that walk? Who's going to embody what it's about? I do think there needs to be an HQ. Sevon, anytime you want to do a live show regarding the 2020 election fraud with me, give me a shout out. Warning, buddy, it won't go well for you. So excited to do a show with you.
How fun would that be?
The thing is Christian, it's what I was talking about earlier. Not a lot of people need to know what CrossFit is, but whoever's at the mantle needs to know. So you don't hear dumb things like, we're going to bring in Andrew Huberman and put him on our board. Like, there's only one message.
We're going to go on CNN. We're going to go on Good Morning America.
Off the carbs, off the couch. It has to be someone who's like dogmatic to the core about that. That's the message. And if you don't have someone who like just knows that and can fucking be like, hey, fuck you, we're fucked.
Cancer is very preventable. It's just that we're doing everything we possibly can to induce it. We published one of the first ever papers linking that the higher your blood sugar, the faster the tumor grows. The lower the blood sugar, the slower the tumor grows. Undeniable. From a normal cell to a cancer cell doesn't happen overnight. All we have to know with cancer is, how are they growing so rapidly? Why are they going out of control? How come it's so hard to kill them? A solution to the cancer problem without toxicity is to simultaneously restrict the two fuels, glucose, which is already in our bloodstream from the food we eat, and the amino acid glutamine. If we stopped eating and we took a low carbohydrate diet and just did water only fasting, we would get into nutritional ketosis. The tumor cells have a bad mitochondria. They're dependent on glucose and glutamine. We can replace glucose and glutamine with ketone bodies. So we selectively marginalize these tumor cells slowly over time. They slowly start to die, the blood vessels disappear, and the body comes in and dissolves them.
I'm gonna tell you guys something, and some of you aren't going to like it. Some of you aren't going to fucking understand it at all, Pat. But I'm going to tell you a little story, fictitious story. In 1970, they would diagnose cancer, and they would say it has a 5-year survival rate. And in 2025, they diagnosed a cancer, and they said because of new medical treatments, it has a 20-year survival rate. What they don't tell you is that they're able to diagnose cancer 15 years earlier than you previously got it. And so the treatment hasn't changed at all. There's no fucking cure for it. Nothing's gotten fucking better. They can just diagnose it earlier so you can get off the sugar sooner. And that they're fucking lying to you. And the reason why they want to diagnose you earlier is so they can get you on that fucking revolving fucking elevator of making fucking money off of you for an extra 15 years. Before, that sucked. They could only diagnose it 5 years before you fucking got it. So they could only treat you for 5 years and make 5 years of money off of you. And if you don't believe me, go out and do the research yourself and look at what's happening. They're claiming, a big picture here, that they have better treatments. No, they have earlier diagnosis so they can start treating you fucking sooner and then treat you for 20 years and make more money off of you. That's the kind of fucking shenanigans that are fucking going on. So when you have these other groups out there, anytime you see a fitness program that's like, we're going to talk about menopause, we're going to talk about low intensity, we're going to talk about how women should train differently, they've lost the fucking plot. The plot is get off the... We just need one fucking vision from one guy who fucking knows it, who's like, get off the couch and get off the sugar. It's that. That's it. That's it. It's that. I mean, it's that fucking... It needs to be that fucking clean. And those people who want to fall off into the nuances, they're jackasses. It's their pathologies of being insecure women or insecure fat men or like talking about all that other shit. That's it. That simple. I just told you. Here's the thing, Sevs. There's millions of people with cancer who believe that type of science that the gentleman just talked about, and they try it and they die. Here you go. Here, Pat. I'm gonna tell you something else about how brilliant your statement is. Everyone who's born dies, Pat. All of them. That's the validity of what you said. Good morning, Athena. All the other shit's just a fucking distraction. And if you want to go down there, I'm not like knocking you. Like if you want to like cut tomatoes out and because you're a girl and you heard that they fucking make it so your fucking period lasts an extra day or does something to your moon cycle, like go for it. But I'm talking about like if someone wants to own this space, they need to be focused on that. They need to own that. Move and off the carbs. But Sevi, you can't eat lettuce. No, you can eat lettuce. Go ahead. We are in a hypothalamic obesity clinic for my daughter, and low carb, sugar free is telling people some kind of voodoo.
Is it Shark Week, CrossFit?
Do they still have Shark Week?
Hell yeah, dude. Shark Week's the best.
What was that on Discovery still?
Yeah, I think Discovery still runs it.
Shark Week, 1998 Shark Week. Oh, Shark Week 2025 kicks off July 20th.
Oh, that's not Shark Week. You idiot. Oh, Shark Week. You suck. You got me excited about Shark Week.
All right, we did the N-word. Oh, here we go. Welcome to Australia, where 30% of the people living on that island were not born there. 30 fucking percent. Oh, should I give this to you so you can? Oh, let me give this to you because you know how to blow shit up. I don't know how to do. This is a crazy. I think this is the whole video. I think this has the curb stomping too.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I think this is the whole. I think this is the whole thing. I can't confirm that there were 4 cops standing there, but I heard someone saying that there were 4 cops. I've
heard that too.
I haven't seen any video of that.
And a bolt action rifle.
That's an extra gun on the ground. What did he just drop? A clip?
Yeah.
If Russell Berger was there, those dudes would be dead. Dead. So that guy just got shot?
Yep.
Hey, so that's a father and son team. So imagine you just watched your dad die. But you know, right now you're still shooting and he's fucking virgins.
He's 7 virgins.
You know what I mean? You're like, fuck. I'm going to guess the dad got shot first.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess that's the son. Just about how well he knew it. He should shoot out some carbon.
Fucking die, cunt! Die!
That guy didn't even sound.
Dude,
Australian.
it looks like his finger, like, you don't play video games, but it looks like his fingers got stuck on the crouch button and he just keeps crouching and turning and crouching and turning. Like he just keeps hitting C over and over.
I want Hiller to do he's got a deep squat. He's got a deeper squat than most fucking High Rocks people.
That's pretty good, huh?
So he's pissed. His dad's died. Dead. His dad's banging virgins next to Allah.
Ooh, got him.
Fuck yeah! Yeah, they got him.
They got him.
Hey, he's hit! He's hit! He's hit! Fucking bash him!
Yeah, baby.
Dude, the cops have no control over the situation.
No.
That's like one of those scenes when there's like five fat black women like fighting two cops. Have you seen that?
Yes.
The cops are in the parking lot and their belts are falling off and shit, and the chicks are beating them up. They're trying to arrest one girl, and the fucking other 4 girls are beating them up.
What is interesting? What was that video from of the dude tackling one of them and taking his gun away? Like, is that from before this or after this? Like, I don't understand where that came from.
Yeah, where? Yeah, that's.
Is there like a third? Was there a third?
Why
shooter
didn't
out
he
there?
shoot him?
Oh my god, I have no idea. That would have been the first thing, because then that dude might have another gun. Like, you have no idea.
Well, this is from the vice president, J.D. Vance. The first 3 cops that responded did nothing. 2 of them stood in the open, froze, and put their hands up in the air, and the third hid behind a car. Is there a video of that? They put their hands in the air?
Wow. Do the cops there even have
I'm
guns?
so confused about Australian men. I cannot fucking figure these dudes out. Are they badasses or are they pussies?
I don't know. I think the tribal ones are badasses.
I think all the dudes I know, I think if Royce Dunn was there, he'd have fucking tackled that dude and fucking killed him in the name of fucking Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Oh, they were women cops? Holy shit.
Oh, jeez.
Those aren't even real cops.
Where's Shanae when you need her?
Sorry, who's the female cop in here? I'm sorry.
Shanae.
Valenzuela? She's Mexican.
What? Oh.
In the chat.
Jessica Valenzuela.
Yeah, sorry, Jessica. Australian men are being pussified just like we are. The future is female.
Ooh,
oh, yeah, Jessica. Yeah, sorry, Jessica. Jessica would have capped that fool. There we go.
Well, capped his ass.
Yeah. Can we find female cops at Jew killing? I don't know
How about just type in Bondi Beach?
One of the survivors of the terror attack at Bondi Beach said 4 police officers just froze.
Yeah.
I want to see female cops Bondi Beach. I want to see if I can get images of that. Oh shit, there are images of them with their hands up. Holy shit. They look hot. They don't look like they look hot. Do these girls have guns?
I don't know. I don't know if Australian cops can carry guns. They must, right?
One of the survivors of the terror attack at Bondi Beach Hanukkah celebration said 4 police officers just froze during the 20-minute rampage. Maybe she just swung her arms up for a second. I pictured her being like, "Don't shoot."
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Oh my goodness. Hey, that guy that who didn't shoot one of the shooters, he should have his ass beat.
Yeah, that's gay.
You tackled him and then let him go.
Yeah, it looks like they can carry Glocks or they carry handguns.
What a mess. What a mess.
Unarmed police forces. Iceland, Ireland, New Zealand.
Hello.
Ireland better get some guns. You guys are
UK.
you guys are gonna get butt fucked. Caller, hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
Pedro. It's Pedro Moss.
Pedro Mas, how are you?
Yes, there's this one guy, he's a radical Christian. His name is Very Independent.
Oh, I thought you were going to say his name is Jesus Christ, but go on.
Yeah, anyway, he says 18 months from now, China gonna attack.
Oh, they say, everyone's always saying that.
2027, China is attacking.
Yeah, there's a guy who's been on Fox News who's been saying that for 5 years.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, someone's going to be right.
Yeah. His name is Very Independent. And he watches my show. I got a show, my real life show.
Oh, what is it's on YouTube?
No, it's real life. He watches through the army. The army, they have a show of me.
What's it called? Where can I find it? What's the name of the show that you're on?
I'm under my real life. My real name is not Pedro Moss. If you ask him, he can tell you a little bit about me. I wanted a gun for for my leg. You put a gun in your leg, right? And he made a tourniquet for his leg.
Are you saying that you have a show on the internet where I can see you in your day-to-day life gardening and pissing in the sink?
Yeah.
What's the name of that show? I want to find it.
30 days.
30 days?
You got to get whatchamacallit on. The Very Independent guy. You got to get him on.
Pedro, what can I Google? I'm going to ask you. I don't want to ask anyone else. Where can I go on the internet to watch the reality show about your life?
I don't know.
Oh, son of
I can't tell you.
Why not?
I know Alex Jones watches me, and this guy.
Are there cameras in your house?
It's crazy. There's no cameras. I got a TV in my house. They probably watch me through the TV when I'm eating dinner.
Okay, Pedro, you got to lay off the weed, dude. You got to lay off the weed.
No. I'm telling you,
Pedro, I'm going to hook you up right now for free. Alex Jones is not watching you through your TV.
Yeah, he is. I'm telling you.
Pedro, what's your Twitter?
My little book. I wrote my little book.
Pedro, what's your Twitter handle?
No, I don't have it.
Yeah, he has Twitter. Pedro
Moss. They shut me off.
They shut you off on Twitter?
No, Pedro Moss. They cut me off. They shut me down.
Oh wow.
Oh, Twitter, the X.
Yeah, X.
Yeah, Pedro Moss. I got a Facebook. I got a Facebook too.
How do you spell your last name?
We got kicked off of Facebook yesterday for something we said on the show. Did you see that?
Yeah, we did. I'm trying to fix it.
Pedro Moss. MOS.
One word?
So what do you think? Pedro Moss. I don't know.
I think
MOS?
you're smoking too much weed, dude. I'm a little concerned about you.
That's how I get it.
Hey, that's the kind of shit people say right before they stab someone. They'll be like,
I didn't smoke anything this morning.
People will be like, hey, I was watching The Simpsons and Bart told me to stab someone.
Oh, here. I found him.
Let me ask you this. Do you like it that he's watching you?
Well, yeah, because what I do is I get him ideas. That's what I do. I come up with an idea, and I throw it up against the wall, and he gets like 2 or 3 people to play handball against the wall with my words.
Hey, how are your toes?
And they're bad. They're bad. I got freaking infected.
Yeah, one
with
of them
fungus.
Yeah, it looks like you were wearing
I gotta get some oil.
Well, your big toe, you need toe spacers. Your big toe is really, really bent in from wearing tight shoes. Your hands and your feet look much cleaner than I imagined.
Yeah.
Your nails are so clean.
I need 11 and a half. 11 and a half I need. My shoe.
Damn, those are.
But I bought 10 and a half one time, and I got.
Wow. So you made a 45-second video of you chopping.
I got 10 and a half shoes for sale.
For sale. All right. All right. Keep me posted, buddy. Yeah. Take care of those feet.
Okay.
Don't change. Don't get naked. Don't get naked. Don't get naked in front of your TV.
Yeah. I try not to.
You'll be on OnlyFans.
One guy, right? One guy, he met me in the store. He was watching me, and he knew I was in the store, in the bookstore, and he walked by. Jason Bermas. You ever heard of Jason Bermas?
Jason Bateman.
He watches me too.
The actor Jason Bateman watches you.
Bermas.
Do you know? Does Wade Debner watch you?
No, Bermas.
Oh.
Who?
All right, thank you. Love you, buddy. Always good to hear from you. I'm getting ready to clone my mulberry trees. I'm going to clone my mulberry trees. I'm going to clone like 100 mulberry trees. I'm going to do that project with my kids here in a couple days. I got the vermiculite and I got the cloning liquid for the roots, the root hormone. And I got the little tiny containers. I got 50 little containers on Amazon. And I just need a bucket to like a big container to store them in while they root.
You can make a fence.
And then I'm going to give them. And then I'm going to give them to all my friends.
Around the property.
Say it again. Anyway, wish me luck.
You can make a fence every 18 inches.
Yep, that's a good idea. Oh, a mulberry tree fence. Wow. That's a good idea, dude. I'm going to take him over to my friend Dave's house. I've been telling him for 10 years.
I got willows, a lot of willows.
Yeah. All right. I love you, dude. Take care of yourself. Bye. All right. Christ. It's all fun and games until your TV's fucking watching you. Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Let's leave on a good note. Girl 14 found weighing 35 pounds in House of Horrors. Father and stepmother among 4 adults charged. When authorities discovered, this is November 21st, 2025. When authorities discovered the girl, they believed she was 6 or 7 years old due to her size. A 14-year-old girl in Wisconsin was discovered weighing only 35 pounds while living in her father and stepmother's home, according to multiple reports. Authorities found the child, whose identity has not been shared publicly, in an Oneida, Wisconsin home in August. She was severely malnourished with respiratory failure, cardiac dysfunction, severe acute hepatitis, pancreatitis. According to Fox 11, citing court documents, initially doctors were unsure if the girl would survive. Outaouguine County Assistant District Attorney Julie DeQuine. What are the chances that the county's Outaouguine and her name is DeQuine? That's weird. Testified in court that she viewed photos of the child who looked like a skeleton, was literally just skin and bones, outlet reported. The victim's father, Walter Goodman, 47, his wife, Melissa Goodman, her daughter, Savannah Lefevre, 29, and Lefevre's partner, Kayla Stemler, 27, were all arrested on 3 felony counts of chronic neglect of a child, consequences being great bodily harm, and 2 felony counts of chronic neglect of a child, with consequences being emotionally damaged. According, yeah, she's emotionally damaged. That's the dad.
Nice, awesome.
Neck tattoo. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
All individuals charged face more than 80 years in prison, the outlet reported. Authorities discovered the victim after her father called 911 to report that the girl was very lethargic and weak. Upon arrival, an officer believed the child was only 6 or 7 years old.
Jesus.
The victim was hospitalized first in Green Bay before being transferred to Children's Wisconsin and what the fuck are the names of these towns in Wisconsin?
Wisconsin's retarded.
According to the criminal complaint, the complaint alleges that when the child was hospitalized, she requested a second portion of food, and when it was given to her, she told medical personnel that her father would be so mad.
Oh my God.
My father doesn't like it when I eat that much. After she was told that she would receive 3 meals a day while hospitalized, staffers reported that the girl's eyes lit up when she was informed about the meal schedule. I read another report about her. She put on 45 pounds and grew 3 inches. They said like since they found her, grew 3 inches.
That's crazy.
Child began living with her father in 2020 after her mother went to jail due to the COVID-19 pandemic. She was attending school virtually through the 2020-2021 school year.
Oh my God.
Holy shit, dude. A witness claimed Walter said, well, I keep her locked up in the bedroom with a camera on her, and that's why she stays, according to Wisconsin. The daughter has autism, and that's why she didn't eat and sleep.
Oh, really? That's what it was?
Oh, my God. Just so you know, the victim was taking more than one bite at a time, and when Savannah confronted her, she continued to argue with her, so I used the belt. Stemler allegedly texted Melissa, according to the criminal complaint.
Holy fuck. Oh my God. Is this the family?
Yeah.
Oh my God. What a disgusting group of humans. Look, there's like fucking stains on her shirt. You disgusting, you fat fucking slob.
Walter allegedly made similar remarks about the child. Police say that a friend told authorities that he confronted Walter about the way he treated his daughter, and that Walter allegedly responded, if I could leave her somewhere in the woods, I'd leave her. I wish I could kill you, he said to his daughter.
Wow.
Since her rescue, she's grown 3 inches and doubled her body weight.
Wow.
Hey, how come they don't get a cashless bail? How come they have to pay bail?
I don't know.
Why don't they just get to sign a piece of paper like you do in North Carolina? After raping a woman, you're just like, I didn't do it. I'll see you in court.
It's so brutal.
Wait, Nick was arrested at 9:15 last night. Is that Reiner's? Is that Reiner's son, Nick Reiner? Is that Nick Reiner news? Why do they think he did it?
Crime of passion.
I know, but what did they see? The Los Angeles Police Department said it was investigating an apparent homicide at the home of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Nick Reiner, 32, is being held in jail on $4 million bail. Wait, what? Why doesn't he get to go out on cashless bail?
Because he's got money.
He was booked for murder. What did they find?
It doesn't say. This one says authorities say they can't share any details, including about executing a search warrant at the home.
Dude, can you imagine killing your fucking mom? What the fuck?
Killing your dad? Both of them at the same time?
What the fuck?
He looks deranged, dude.
Crazy.
Arrested at 9:15 last night and booked at 5 a.m.
Here's a photo of his family together. Can I read this article or is it blocked?
It's there.
It's all blurry and shit.
Oh, is it? Yeah. It's like, what? Stupid. Nobody wants to pay for that.
My God. So the moral, the lesson from today's show is if you're going to buy CrossFit, you don't invite the doctors in. you continue to educate the doctors. That's the takeaway.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the takeaway. Just remember that. We're there to educate the doctors, not to give them authority. They already had their shot. We love you, doctors. If I get shot or in a car accident or I need my leg casted, you'll be the first I go to. God, I have so many fucking horror stories.
Great.
No, there's a buyer. There's a buyer. There is a buyer. And the deal is moving forward. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.